It's Toby.
Hey, ooh, feels good. Let me see. Yeah, we back with the N.y.a show. Please excuse me if you hear me coughing. I just drank some water and almost choked on that motherfucker before the song ended. I was like, hold on, get the cough out, get the cough out. But it's the N.y.a show back for another week. I wanted to see where we at. We're on Hump Day. So shout out everybody. Happy Hump Day. Hope the week's been going good so far. This past weekend was Mother's Day. Mother's Day, I went to church with my grandmother. She made her appearance there. Spent some time with my wife, all the mothers, everybody in the life, the mothers that lost children, the mothers who never got a chance to really raise up a child, just mothers, all forms, the stepmoms, godmoms, all moms. And then on Saturday, I spent most of the time hanging out here around the crib, spend some time hanging out with the little kids in the neighborhood. Man, it's just I put a message on my social media, just like, man, I just hope that I could be of some better influence for some of these kids you see around the neighborhood, because ooh, man, it ain't happening in the schools, and it's definitely not happening at the house like that. So I really hope all y'all had a great week, and make sure that you check out that last N.y.a. Not N.y.a. You can check out the last N.y.a shows, as well as that Kendrick versus Drake kind of history of the sneak distance. That was my last video that I did to kind of take up the space for last week. Just in case you were wondering where I was last week, please go check out the Kendrick versus Drake, all the things that you may have missed in relation to the sneak distance before we got to the actual battle. How a Mother is Balancing Life in the Pursuit of Dreams. An interview with actress Breyonna and Thomas by Ajay Tambe is available on Spotify, as well as Literally Is No Pressure, episode 154 with peace_peace. All of the links will be below for your viewing pleasure. Be sure to check out those videos and support. Now, I don't know if anybody really paid attention to what happened in Baltimore. I'm in the trucking business, so in freight, so I know about what happened in Baltimore when that Key Bridge went down. And I just wanted to kind of fast forward here to May. This happened back in March, if I'm not mistaken. So let's fast forward to May and see what the developments are. And did you know that the dolly, which is the vessel, is still there? It was still there in the middle of the water. Let's get the video going if I can get past the ad. Get the original video that I had going about what they currently about what's currently happening, and then let me see. It was like another bomb that they let off to kind of break up the rest of the rubbish that was left hanging over the ship, and the people that were on that ship, on that vessel, are still there. They've been there ever since it happened. Then FBI investigating. It's a lot. So let me see if I can get the video up to play, and then we can kind of discuss more about everything that was on it. You know what I'm saying? I hope that this is the right one. If not, I'm gonna get it going. You know what I'm saying? Best believe I'm trying to get the right video going. Valley experienced 4 blackouts before crashing into Baltimore Key Bridge. NTSB report shows. Let me get my sound mixed in together and try to get this video to play all the way through for us. Let's see what I just click on. Okay, let's go.
Exclusive close-up view of today's detonation at the site of the Key Bridge wreckage. The operation came after days of weather delays and weeks after the tragedy.
It's a major milestone in the salvage efforts as crews now work to clear the debris, move that ship, and reopen the channel.
See how they just actually blew up the rest of what was left on there. And what I heard in an earlier story on Apple News today is that the actual bridge won't be ready to go again until 2028. It sounded a little too far out to actually be true, but that's what they were saying in that particular story off of Apple News when they talked about what happened in Baltimore at that Key Bridge.
For marine traffic. Welcome to the news at 11. I'm Vic Carter.
And I'm Rick Ritter. Unified Command says today's operation was successful, but now the question is, what comes next in the days ahead? And WJZ live at 11 o'clock tonight, Jessica Albert has those details.
And Jessica, we're also seeing newly released body camera video from the first responders in the minutes after the collapse.
Well, Rick and Vic, the next step is to refloat the dolly and remove it from the Patapsco River, which is expected to happen sometime this week. Tonight, we're also getting a look, like you said, at some first responder video, some body camera video from the moments after the bridge collapsed.
The long-awaited controlled demolition went off without a hitch.
Monday afternoon, the sound of the explosion echoing through the area.
Today we achieved an important milestone.
Unified Command says the 4,000-ton piece of the Key Bridge have been laying atop the dolly for 7 weeks now, anchoring it to the bottom of the Patapsco River. The goal was to break
on that boat for weeks, and people were on it too.
The truss into smaller pieces, making it easier to remove the bridge and refloat the ship.
Well, I've learned that salvage operations is a lot like peeling back an onion. So that's the work you see occurring right now. The teams are already out assessing was there any movement to the debris on top of the vessel.
Over the next 2 days, Unified Command expects to free the dolly from the river, moving it back to the port of Baltimore, and to resume work to fully reopen the main shipping channel by the end of the month.
Like there is no bridge. Like there is no bridge.
This major step forward comes as back to the port of Baltimore.
Like I said, by now I will hope that, like I said, a lot of people that travel on these vessels, they don't have visas, so they can't just get off the vessel and go get a bologna sandwich or something like that. So it's interesting that most people probably are maybe hoteled up, probably got off the boat, I would think, but for a long time, people were still on the boat. And they just mentioned that the key way to it would be opened up later this month, which is what I was originally hearing at work. But then, like I said, I heard an Apple News story that was saying years from now to be finally completed, redone, and that's going to cost over like $2 billion to get, when it comes to this bridge. It was a big bridge.
And to resume work to fully reopen the main shipping channel by the end of the month.
Like there is no bridge. Like there is no bridge.
This major step forward comes as we're getting a new perspective of the moments after the fatal collapse.
What appears to be a vehicle in the water with flashing green and orange lights. It is completely submerged, though.
Newly released body camera video from Maryland Natural Resources Police shows the dramatic response. There are several clips showing the officers traveling to the wreckage site by boat. In one clip, an officer approaches the dolly and speaks with the crew.
Is everybody okay up there?
Come see me.
Okay?
Okay.
Nobody's hurt? No injury?
Imagine if they were. What are we supposed to say?
No injury?
Mm.
Somebody's hurt? Okay.
They're talking back to him, which is real low.
During the demolition, the dolly's 20-plus member crew stayed on board of the ship. We're told that they were moved to the bottom of the ship for safety reasons.
So they were on it during that. Let me run that back just one last time. I'm correcting yet again. They were still on it.
During the demolition, the dolly's 20-plus member crew stayed on board of the ship. We're told that they were moved to the bottom of the ship for safety reasons. We are still working to learn tonight what will happen to the crew on the dolly once the ship gets back to the port of Baltimore. The NTSB and the FBI are still investigating what caused this crash. Reporting live tonight at 11, Jessica Alpert for WJZ.
And appreciate them for that story. Right? I want to know what you guys' thoughts are on this too, because like I said, there was something that happened in Baltimore that has completely changed the way that things in this country are operating, but nobody seems to really know. Like people's whole lives got changed. Like just imagine you were just working, the workers that were working on the bridge, like their lives matter too. I haven't seen not one picture, no memorials or nothing like that. Like the people who really just get down and nitty gritty, they filling potholes on the bridge. Not one, I haven't seen one memorial. These people just now, with the last body was just pulled up out of there. People just now probably, won't get a chance to bury their loved ones. Like this was sick, and it happened right here in the country, out here in Baltimore. I want to know what y'all thoughts are on this whole situation about the dolly. The dolly had been sitting out there in the ocean still, 20-plus crew members still on it. They're still doing the investigation to see exactly what happened what happened with caused this, but the power went out on this 947-foot long vessel full of cargo, MERS, CMA, all type of HAPAC, all type of boxes was on that vessel. That's nothing but claims. You looking at big money. That was like a big money bag of claims when it comes to how it's going to really play out with that freight that was on that vessel when all this went down. So it's the N.y.a show. Let me know what y'all thoughts were on this story. Like I said, the dolly They finally have got the last pieces of the bridge off of it, and now they're going to move into trying to start to resume fixing it. They done pulled out tons and tons of rocks and stones and metal out of the ground. It's just been a mess, y'all. But this is straight out of Baltimore. Let me know what y'all thoughts on the story. It's the N.y.a show, and I'll be right back with another one.